Simplicity is a powerful tool in game design. Having a higher quality looking game doesn't necessarily mean the game itself is good. Titles such as Terraria, Stardew Valley, and Snake are definitely not known for high quality graphics, but they're still known as great games. With a minimalist art style, simple controls, and focused gameplay, simplicity carries GunFrog to be a hidden gem within gaming. If you've never heard of GunFrog before, GunFrog is a game where you're playing as a frog who swallowed a gun. Or maybe you're the gun being controlled by the frog. Either way, you hop, swim, and shoot yourself around the map, collecting ammo and shooting down flies and other animals like birds, fish, snakes, and owls. Flies are your main source of income though, so spend your flies wisely. Maybe put a down payment on your frog home or get a second mortgage. Either way, the fly economy's cooked. With your flies, you can either go to the frog medic who heals you when your health is low and your life is fading, or you can buy ammo which also randomly spawns on the ground. The map is a pond, so it's flooded. So there isn't a bunch of ground, but there are a bunch of tiny islands with different frog characters with their own frog identities. Try talking to as many frogs as possible. Maybe you'll find some that have better gear. Anyway, let's get into GunFrog simplicity. GunFrog has a minimalistic art style. The world is pixelated. I'm sure we're all used to 2D games being pixelated, but we're probably not as used to 3D games being pixelated. A 3D game being pixelated sounds like it can make a great game. Maybe the highest grossing game ever type of great game. There are not many different sprites in GunFrog. The textures and things in the game are all similar. All the trees and lily pads are the same, the houses are the same, but some are on stilts. All the frogs have the same body, but to make them unique, they have different hats. The map is small but filled. The different locations in GunFrog are all quite similar, having the same trees, lily pads, houses, logs, campfires, medics, and ammo sellers. But the color of the area of the map are different enough to make them distinguishable and unique. Other than art, let's talk about GunFrog's controls. GunFrog has simple yet difficult controls. WASD to move, mouse to move the camera, left click to shoot, and right click to zoom. Standard controls in almost any game you can name. They're so simple, right? But no, because the camera movement and player movement they're just so janky. The owl boss fight took me at least 30 minutes to do in hard mode because the owl spawns in the sky directly above you, but the camera doesn't allow you to look directly up, so it kept pushing me in the water as I was shooting at it, and it held me down as I died. Okay, don't even get me started on the player movement. It's just awful. Walking and swimming feels so slow. Whenever I try to walk on land, I feel like my keyboard isn't listening and that I can't go anywhere. In the King Toad fight, I couldn't help but keep clipping next to trees and it wouldn't let me move. I'm not writing this game off though, because the movements are frustrating. I'm actually congratulating this game because it adds a layer of difficulty. Hence why it took me an hour and a half to beat hard mode versus 30 minutes for my first playthrough of easy mode. Easy mode, peasy mode. What about GunFrog's focus? GunFrog has focused gameplay. There's a storyline. There's 3 buttons around every map that you need to shoot in order to start the wave before the boss. You'll know you've got all the buttons when a massive statue comes out of the ground in the middle of the map. Once you defeat the wave of animals, a bigger version of that animal will spawn as the boss. Progression. After defeating the first boss, you take a boat to the next area. After defeating that boss, you go to the next area, and so on and so forth, until you get to King Toad. It took me about half an hour to beat this guy on hard mode because I either ran out of ammo as he had no health, or an owl came out of literally nowhere to kill me. Bosses. Bosses are so simple, and I would say perfect. Except for the owl boss. I hate you. And owls in general. I hate you too. I died 14 times in the King Toad fight. He hit me. Before I said, I understand it now, and beat him. And at least half of those deaths were to an owl spawning out of literally nowhere to come and kill me. A minimalist art style, simple controls, and focused gameplay are the main reasons as to why GunFrog is a gem hidden in gaming. Pixelated games might not be common nowadays, but being unique makes it great. The camera and player movement might not be perfect, but being more difficult makes the game more enjoyable. Lastly, the bosses in the game are nothing to doze on. I seriously struggled on the bosses in hard mode, and I don't even know what it would be like to try to attempt to beat them in extreme mode. GunFrog has the rare nature of being itself, and getting to be itself makes it perfect, just the way it is.